glad you all are here. We're missing some, but that's okay. We always go forward and continue to go forward. Today we have another guest speaker here. Her name is Crystal Victoria, and she's going to talk to you all today. She's written a book. She will tell you about her background, and she'll discuss a number of topics with you. And then from there, then she'll open it up for a Q&A, question and answer session, so that you all can talk. So she has a book here, and it's called From the Streets to the Skies, No Limit, Daughters of a Boss Lady. So I think that you all will be very interested in her story and what's going on and who you are, and we all, tie in together. So let's welcome Crystal.
To be here, grateful for the opportunity. Thank you to the ladies that invited me. A little more about myself. I'm a motivational speaker. I'm a published author. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a community activist, humanitarian. I do a lot of things in the community as it relates to helping people overcome obstacles and adversities. So I'm going to have some notes here in front of me. Excuse me, I usually like to do things without them, but I'm going to have some notes today. So I have a story I want to open up with, and it's called The Carrot, the Egg, and the Coffee Bean. So follow with me as I read this story to you. It starts out, a young woman went to her grandmother and told her about her life and how things were going so bad for her. She didn't know how she was going to make it, and she wanted to give up. She was tired of fighting and struggling, and it seemed as one problem was solved, another one arose. So how many of y'all can relate to that? Because I know I can. As soon as something's fixed, it's like when it rains and pours, things of water. She placed each of them on hot fire. The pots came to a boil. How many people have heard this story? Oh, okay, good. So y'all get a surprise, right? Okay, so the pots are on the stove. They're boiling. It's 3 pots there. Now, if your granddaughter like me, I'm looking at my grandma while I'm sitting here ranting and raving about my life. Grandma, you really gonna go put 3 pots on the stove? Like, wait a minute. Listen to me. I got an issue right now. I'm trying to give up. Grandma like, girl, we go on and finish this cooking here. So she got these pots, and in one pot she placed some carrots. In the second pot she placed some eggs. In the last pot she places some coffee beans. So she's doing this, she let it boil for about 20 minutes. The whole time grandma walking around not saying nothing. Granddaughter ran, Granny, why? I want to give up, I hate everything, I hate life. Drugs, all this is nuts, I don't like it. And grandma's sitting there looking at her like, she's not saying a word. Y'all got that grandma to do y'all like that. Be ranting, raving, she's just looking at y'all like, when you done? Let me know. So anyway, the pots are finally done, right? So she let it go about 20 minutes. She asked her granddaughter, she said, tell me what you see. She's looking at her, she's like, I see some carrots, some eggs, and a coffee bean, and some water. Ain't that what you see? She said, she brought her closer and said, feel the carrots. So she know what she did, and she know that they were soft and mushy. Finally, her grandma asked her to take the egg and break it. Well, she had to pull off the shell, and of course the egg is hard on the inside, right? So finally she said to sip the coffee. And of course, tasted a rich aroma, tastes like coffee. Best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup. That's what it was. So her granddaughter asked her, said, okay, Grandma, what you trying to tell me? What's this mean? Grandma explained that each of these objects faced the same adversity, which was boiling water, but each reacted to it differently. So you have the carrot that went in strong and hard, however, being subjected to boiling water came out soft and mushy. Then you have an egg that went in, and it's got a thin shell, and then on the inside it's liquid, but after boiling water, 20 minutes, it comes out hard. Okay, then you have the coffee bean. And instead of anything happening to the coffee bean, instead the coffee bean changed the water around it, made coffee, and it stayed as a coffee bean. So the grandma asked her, which one are you? When adversity knocks on your door, how do you respond? Are you a carrot, an egg, or a coffee bean? So think of this. Which am I? Am I the carrot that seems strong but with pain and adversity? Do I get all soft and mushy and realize I'm not as strong as I thought I was? Or am I like the egg that when you go in, you have a soft heart, and then when you come out, when life knocks you around, you got that financial difficulties, that breakups, that death, do you get hard inside? Do you become bitter and hardened and stiff? And does your shell look the same, but on the inside you're just tough with a stiff spirit and a hard heart? Or are you like the coffee bean that changes the water? The hot water, the very circumstance that brings the pain. When the water gets hot, it releases the fragrance and flavor of your life. If you're like the bean, when things are at the worst, you get better and you change the situation around you. When the hours at the darkest and trials are at their greatest, do you elevate to another level? How do you handle adversity? Are you changed by surroundings, or do you bring life flavor to them? Are you a carrot, an egg, or a coffee bean? So, how many of y'all have felt like a carrot and an egg before? I know I have. I still feel like it sometimes. How many of you felt like the hard-boiled egg? So, trying to figure out how to get the coffee bean, right? Mm-hmm. All right, let's get the coffee bean. So, I was inspired with the gift to come in and talk to young ladies like yourself. And I have the courage to come in and talk to you about my story, which, everybody doesn't have the courage to do so. Of course, I got my book, and I will leave flyers up here for you to all get some. But this is my book, From the Streets to the Skies, No Limit. If you want to, you pass it around. And it's hard. It's a hard thing to air your dirty laundry in your life out there, because people judge you by that. They judge you by your past. They judge you by your mistakes. They judge you by your background, the way you look. And so although it's a lot of women out there that are overcoming the obstacles that we all are, everybody doesn't have the courage to come and talk about it. And it's just because they can't. That's just the society that we live in. But it's okay. That's their prerogative. However, one thing about me is I care, and two things is, like I said, I was blessed with courage. So what everybody else says, you know what? If I feel like I need to do something to better help the next person, I'm going to do that. So once upon a time, I was exactly where you are, struggling to overcome drug abuse and stay out of trouble. And that's just for real. It took a while, but I finally figured it out. So how many of you remember the merry-go-round at the park as a kid? The merry-go-round? Mm-hmm. You get on the merry-go-round, you have a good time, you go around in circles really fast, and all of a sudden you can't stop, and you're just going around and around to the point you almost sick, and you can't get off because you're going too fast, you're about to fall off, and it takes for someone to come along and stop you. Or the merry-go-round, you just slow down before you can get off. When you get off, you're wobbling, you're trying to walk straight, and half nauseous, can't keep your balance. I don't know about y'all, but it sounds kind of about that life. You about that life, that sound like that life. I don't know about y'all, but I was about that life. I was about that life. So like the carrot, I thought it was hard. I went into that life, thought it was hard. Things knocked me around, I said, oh Lord, this ain't gonna work. Mm-hmm. Like the egg, those things that I went through made me hard inside and very mean. I was just angry at the world for a long time. Until one day I got sick of that too. I got sick of that, got sick and tired of being sick and tired. And one day I got to the coffee bean, and I started seeing how to get to coffee bean. So I hope I truly helped somebody here today. And of course I'm always available for questions and all those things. So how I got to coffee bean. It took a 3-step process. And in those 3 steps, they all took some time. So don't think you're going to start this overnight and you're going to get there. The first step was change the way you think. The second step was control your emotions. The third step is find a new method of stress relief or something that you love to do. 3 steps. Change your thinking, control your emotions, find a new method of stress relief or something you like to do. So, step 1, change the way I was thinking. Your mind is where the battle is really truly taking place, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so your thoughts are going to be past tense. There's stuff you was thinking yesterday. It's the reason that you are where you are today. But you're thinking, the way you're thinking right now is going to get you where you need to be tomorrow. So, of course, I've had plenty of thoughts, crazy things. But as long as I'm not thinking those things today, the chances of them happening and me doing them is slim to none. So thoughts become words, become actions, become you. What you're thinking about is very, very important. All the time. So here's the short of it. I have 2 of the best business coaches and life coaches on the planet. We have 2 people. Dr. Cutts and Mr. Shelton. Matter of fact, I have a whole board of directors overseeing my thoughts now that I think about it. However, I needed that because my thinking will get me into trouble. So I had people that I could call and everything. Every time I was having a thought, I would run it by them and be like, hey, what do you think by this? And they'd be like, okay. And they're not going to be people. They don't need to be people that agree with you. They need to be people that will tell you about yourself. Okay, so you don't want to have people that's going to be like, agree with what you're saying and hype you up and instigate the problem. Now, you need some level-headed people that in the event that you need to, you can call them and ask them for advice and they're going to guide you in the right direction. So I have my thought police, my board of directors, and pretty much, you know, I had to learn to think for myself because they're not always going to be there. So at some point, I had to stop calling them all the time. I run a company. I'm an entrepreneur. I run 4 companies, matter of fact. I have 4 of them now. And so I can't call them every time I'm walking around. I'm like, oh, I need to make a decision. Let me call somebody. Because people are going to be like, I have staff. They're going to be like, aren't you the boss? Why are you calling for help? So I got to learn to think for myself. So Mr. Shelton, my coach, one of my favorites, and it's my favorite, he gave me a lesson about changing your thinking. And pretty much what he says is, when you have a thought, acknowledge your thought. Acknowledge the fact that you're thinking. Realize it's just a thought. It doesn't mean it's reality. It's just a thought. Just a thought. Next step is love your thoughts. Embrace your thoughts. Accept yourself and whatever it is you're thinking and say, it's okay, I'm human, I'm having that thought. Whatever that thought is, it's alright that I have it. Okay? But now, you get to change that thought. Once you embraced it, you realize you had it, you embraced it, now you change it. So, you acknowledge it, you love it, then you change it. When you change it, you make a conscious decision to think positively. So I'm going to give you an example. Say, for instance, you know somebody that's just ugly. And you don't like them because every time they come around, they just ugly. You found one thing positive on that person or about that person, and you focus on that. Even though they're ugly and you just can't stand them. You know, you had that one person get on your nerves. And every time they come around, you're like, oh, Lord, here she comes again. You want to go the other way in a heartbeat, huh? You find that one thing about that person that's positive and try to focus on that. Now we know it's going to take the strength of an ox, but do your best because it's got more to do with you than it's to do with them. So at that point, you counter all your negative thoughts with positive ones. Now this is a battle. Let me tell you why. Because that brain of ours, it generates about 70,000 thoughts a day, and most of them are negative. Okay, so you're going to have to literally play battles of the mind and may drive you crazy. There's a lot of stuff going on up there that you don't know about. And so every time you have a thought, you're going to be monitoring like, wait, what kind of thought is that? Oh, wait, change it to positive. But you can do it, okay? You can do it. You can do it. No matter what anyone thinks about you, what you think about you is more important than all of that. So we all have obstacles. Life is always going to be happening. People are always going to have something to say. Listen, folks talk. However, it's very important that you develop a healthy self-image. Think and speak highly of yourself even when you don't really feel it, when you don't see it. Think and speak highly of yourself. Speak things into being. If you think it and you speak it and you see it, you will become it. So that's all you need to do. Look in the mirror and say how beautiful you are. All of you ladies here today are beautiful ladies who got just life happen. It's okay. You are not a failure. There's no such thing until you have accepted that thought as so. So we all have the great divine purpose that God has placed us here to do, and you all are capable of doing it. Your past makes no difference. So before letting anything bother you outside of you, find out why it's bothering you and ask yourself some questions. So this is as you are interacting with other people, okay? So the first 2 times I'm telling you about how you handle yourself and thoughts. Okay, now this is about interacting with other people with the way you think, changing your thinking on a grander scale. Not only changing your thinking up here, changing the way you communicate with others. So something's bothering you, find out why. If someone is bothering you, find out why. But ask yourself first. For example, if you're mad, ask yourself why you're mad. Ask yourself some questions. You're mad? Is this worth my energy? Do I really want to entertain this battle? Or can I just let this go and be alright? Substitute mad for worried, afraid, or anything. Are you afraid? Why am I afraid? Is this worth my energy? Do I really want to fight this battle? Do I need to be afraid? Can I control this situation? For all of you that work, the first step, you know the first step is tirelessness, right? I had a lady tell me one day, and she broke them down, by the way. She told me to write a list of 50 things I was powerless over. So about halfway through that list, I got to probably 40, and I was like, I can't think of anything else. She's like, yeah, right. So So I made myself think of some more stuff. When I got to 50, I realized I could go to 100. And then I got to 100, she's like, write 50 miles today, 50 more. She said, yeah, there it is, keep writing. Everything that I could not control was outside of me. That was the moral of the exercise. We're going to do that today. So, if you don't have to battle with anybody else, don't. Pick and choose your battles wisely, because it's going to reduce more stress than you realize. And see, a lot of times, what we do when we stress, what we do, we go do something. So, always try to find the part you played in the situation. So, if you're familiar with the AA book, this is a passage out of it. I said I had a counselor come along, torture me. Every time she called my name, I had to stand up and repeat this page and read it until I memorized it. Now, it was really self-delusion, self-seeking, and selfishness. We step on the toes of our fellows and they retaliate. Sometimes they hurt us, seemingly without provocation. But invariably we find that at some time in the past, we have placed ourselves in a position to be hurt based on selfishness. So our troubles we think are of our own making. They arise out of ourselves. And we are extreme examples of self-will run riot, although we usually don't think so. Our best thinking gets us right where we're at. And I was like, after a while, after I read it for a while, I started saying, okay, so you're trying to say I'm my problem? Yeah, okay. I may be my problem, your problem, a lot of people's problems. Just tell me I'm a problem. I had attitude. I didn't want to have this world. I had to conquer that. So, taking responsibility and apologizing will disarm the other person, though. And sometimes it'll make you mad, too. Because you ever go to somebody and try to apologize, and you're like, I'm sorry. And, that was my fault. I'm just trying to squash it. And they're like, I know you're sorry. It was your fault. And it just irritates you. And you just want to fight because they done went there, huh? You know what I'm talking about. You just try, and they just, it'll make you mad. However, this is not important. It's not your fault. Don't worry about that. What you're doing by letting it go has more to do with your peace of mind and your sobriety, and what you need to do and less to do with them. So do what you got to do to keep your peace of mind. So, say oh well, keep it moving. Change the way you think. Change the way you think. Step 2, control your emotions. Control your emotions. Okay, I have a quote, and if anybody tells you differently, they're lying, the truth ain't them, they will lie. That was a lie. And the quote is, pretty much, emotions are like the steering wheel of a car. You have the wrong passenger, the wrong driver, and no destination, you go in all the wrong directions. I'm going to say it again. Emotions are like the steering wheel of a car. You have the wrong passenger, the wrong driver, and no destination, you will go in all the wrong directions. Do you agree?
Yes.
Okay, so I said we're going to flip positive thinking. Let's put the positive spin on it. So I'm going to say the same thing in a positive way. Emotions are like the steering wheel. The right driver and the direction, you will go in all the right directions. Okay? So, more to the story is control your emotions. This sounds easy also, but it's really not. Decisions made from an emotional standpoint are usually not very good ones. Take those things back and they'll usher in another feeling of guilt. And you definitely don't want to feel guilty on top of anger at yourself, on top of, you don't want all that stuff. There's a lot of stress, and those things take you right back where you were. So, calm down and think. Check yourself by step 1 before interacting with others or making decisions, especially when you're emotional and you need to control it. Ask yourself, should I talk to somebody to calm me down before I say, or do anything? What am I thinking right now? Do I love myself? What is the positive thing in this situation? Because in every bad thing, I promise you, is a little bit of it. You just got to find it. How would I feel about myself if I end up doing something wrong? Why is this bothering me? Is this a battle I want to entertain? Is this worth my energy? Or should I direct my energy to something else that'll get me somewhere? How did I get in this situation in the first place? Where did I go wrong in this situation? After asking yourself all of those things, you would have taken your power back. And so now you can control your emotions. So you snatch your power back, control your emotions by asking yourself some questions that'll calm you down. After you begin to accurately think for yourself. So, am I losing anybody? Everybody awake with me and stuff? Okay, y'all pretty active group now. I'm excited. I like what I'm feeling there. I come talk to y'all all the time. I like to talk to, like to be on stage. So step 3 and the final step is find a new method of stress relief. Now I'm going to be pure blunt in this situation. Everybody not gonna agree with me, but you know what? It's okay. First, before I get I'm gonna say till I let Crystal hang out. First, I'm gonna tell you this: meditation with deep breathing works wonders. How many of you have learned about meditation with deep breathing? Okay, we gonna do an exercise. Everybody, close your eyes. Close your eyes. Inhale and exhale deeply through the nose. Through the nose. Don't let it come out your mouth. Through the nose. Exhale. Do it some more. Keep doing it. Now inhale in a low voice or mentally, probably mentally, say God when you inhale and God when you exhale. So you inhale, God, and you exhale, God. And do that for a little while. While doing this, notice a peace coming over you. Mm-hmm. Tension in your shoulders and neck are going away. Your mind is becoming relaxed and easy as you do that. Open your eyes. Feeling better? Mm-hmm. Can you feel it working? Is it working really good? Okay, so that's one way. The next way, now approach this with caution and make sure you've had time to heal mentally and emotionally from your past mistakes before you go experimenting with this one. But a healthy sexual relationship with one person is okay. Alright? I'm going to say that again. A healthy sexual relationship with one person is okay. Alright? Enter into this with caution. Make sure you've had time to heal mentally. As long as you're old enough to handle the responsibility and emotionally stable enough to detach. That's the key. Detach. You're like, huh? Yeah, a lot of women don't go there. Okay, so we all been, some of us been prostitutes and escorts and stuff like that before in the past, right? So one thing you learn how to do is detach emotionally from sex, because you can't get attached to the people that's, you know, you had sex with somebody you didn't like just to get something out of it. You're not attached to the person. You need that little skill in order to operate this. See, everyone can't do this, and usually only men. No strings should be attached to this relationship. That is no money and no feeling. Even though you want to say, find something easy. Sometimes I find myself like, you know, what can you do for me? Take that back. Just kidding. But anyway, no strings attached. Be completely honest with the person and let them know the situation so everything is understood and you're not misleading anybody or they don't get feelings involved and all of that. Protect yourself always. Okay? A lot of our diseases and HIV get spread from people we know and we are comfortable with. So especially if you have a situation like this, protect yourself. Because he'll be like, oh yeah, baby, you know it's me and you. We've been best friends for years. You know me and you ain't together. Don't play. We ain't together. You can do what you want to do and you know I can do what I want to do. You know I choose not to. You have that opening, you know. And you don't never know what he's doing and that's none of your business. Because that's not why y'all are relieving stress. Okay? Y'all relieving stress. That's it. So, keep it monogamous. One person you can put up with for a period of time, months or years. Keep it one person, preferably a person with the good stuff. The nerves too bad. And that's even better when they get on your nerves. Because you like, take care of this. This is going on. 2-3 days. Get out here. No sleeping in the night, thank the Lord. I'm telling you, I'm keeping it real. I'm keeping it real here. By keeping it real. Yeah. So I'm going to be honest with you and tell you the truth. Where everybody else may not come at you like that, I'm going to tell you the truth, okay? Let's be real about it. You know what you need to do, ladies. Yeah. So keep yourself checked with the doctor as well. Yes. You know, make sure that you're all right. You take care of business and you have a healthy sexual relationship right there. That's all you need. What are some other ways you can relieve stress? I'm opening the floor for questions. What you think, Mr. Boucher?
To relieve stress?
Relieving stress. What are some other ways you can relieve stress without using an alcohol, drug, or anything like that?
Talk to somebody I can relate to.
Good deal. You remember?
Massage.
That's a great way. Very good way.
Music or write a journal.
Okay. Journal. That's something we had in common. All right. You remember?
I'm along with her with the music.
Music.
Take a walk.
Take a walk. Good deal.
Writing.
Writing. Share that too.
I like to read.
Read.
Yeah,
Do.
somewhere.
You back here in the back.
Writing the music.
This birthday girl.
Writing the music.
All right, you.
She gonna talk.
She gonna talk today.
She gonna talk.
Relieving stress.
A stress reliever with me is my partner of 33 years, my husband, and their illness.
But I'm like, keep it real.
I don't want to do it. If it's not something that is relaxing or whatever, or when it's not, well, I mean, why would you do? So I enjoy that part.
That is your problem. You're entitled to that.
That's not something that's made up.
And she's being honest, but it's that honesty that allows us, equips us to truly relate to you and also be able to help you. So it's important to be honest. Yes, ma'am.
You didn't have to lay with the pad.
I was trying to let the cameraman.
Listen, get the cameraman out of this, okay? As you work, keep it moving.
Hello, what is that stress reliever?
And it's not holding no camera.
You can tell us. You can tell us.
Oh, later on, you keep going.
We gonna let her make it.
Okay.
So, like she said, go outdoors to a park or lake, read and write, find something you like to do or love to do, talk to somebody. Just, make sure that you do something. There are plenty of things that you can do to reduce stress without picking up a drug or alcohol.
Yeah.
In addition to working these first 2 steps. So, if you do these things that we discussed today, I guarantee you will be a coffee maker and a coffee maker. You get to making coffee and still got your bean going on. So you're a coffee maker. You got other coffee beans coming through making
Go,
coffee.
girl.
You're gonna start going hard with it. Coffee for everybody. Because I listen to you, I know the change situation can change. You're talking coffee. So nothing comes overnight. Things take time and regular practice, but you will get it. Sometimes you will get it quickly, sometimes it'll take you a little longer. Remember the story of the carrot, the egg, and the coffee bean. Which one are you? So, to recap, first step is I'm going to need y'all to say this with me. Change the way you think.
Change the way you think.
Control your emotions.
Control your emotions.
Find a new method of stress relief.
Find a new method of stress relief.
Change the way you think.
Change the way you think.
Control your emotions.
Control your emotions.
Have sex. Find a new method of stress relief.
Find a new method of stress relief.
One more time. Control your emotions.
Control your emotions.
Change the way you think.
Change the way you think.
Find a new method of stress relief.
Find a new method of stress relief.
Ladies, it's been real. So now we're going to do a couple exercises. For one, we're going to do a powerless list and a